So here we are on Love Speaks Love. I am Denise Chadwick, the host of Love Speaks Love, and I have two awesome guests with me today. I have Hillis Pugh and Lou Martin. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you, Denise.
Hello, Denise. Thank you for having me on today.
It's a pleasure. And it was interesting because Hillis, you reached out a little while ago and asked if you could be on, and I've been getting a bit of a nudge to have more collaborations on this. And I don't know if it's something about all the twos with 2022, and two to me is a lot about collaboration and, coming together. And so when I was feeling into this and I was going to ask you, Lou kept popping into my head. So I followed that intuition and asked Lou as well. Lou, I met in Glastonbury at the Voices of the Light Tribe event that was hosted by Amrita Melchizedek. So I met Lou in person, which is a bit of a rarity these days with our online relationships. And Hillis, I remember when I saw you chatting to Todd Medina, and I got quite a big, I don't know if you remember me speaking this, but I saw this like quartz, almost like a crown in
I
your
remember.
and down the spine.
And I still have the drawings that you sent me. I look at them at least once a month.
Awesome.
So yes, thank you for that.
You are very welcome. Now I'm just gonna share to a couple of places, just bear with me. This is the tedious bit about the Facebook Lives. Share it to Love Speaks Love, and if anybody watching feels to share it at any point, that would be most appreciated. Okay. Share it to Solitude. I wish I could organize all my groups.
I know when you're on Facebook and you have like 6 groups, I'm like, okay, what? Yeah.
What's the name again? Who can I post to? Where can I not do? Where am I breaking rules?
So, am I allowed to do this in this group or is it that group? Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Yeah, so I end up like I'm in all these groups, but I hardly, there it is. There we go. Okay. So what I will do at this point, I normally start Love Speaks Love with a little heart-to-heart connect and just bringing our awareness to our heart space. So if you're in a position to do so, I just invite you to close your eyes if you wish to, but eyes open or closed, if you can bring your awareness to your heart space in the center of your chest. And take a few deep breaths, breathing love into your beautiful heart. And breathing out anything of the day so far or the day ahead, anything that might be preventing you from being in this now moment. And making any sounds that you wish on your release. And as you breathe love into your beautiful hearts, knowing that that love is spreading to every cell of your body, going deep into the DNA. And extending our heart awareness out now to the heart of Gaia. Connecting with the New Earth templates and the crystalline diamond heart of Gaia. And you may feel yourself enveloped in the love of Gaia. You may feel Gaia's love entering your body through your feet, through your base chakra, through your hands, through your heart, And feeling Gaia's love for all of us and her deep gratitude for all that we are and all that we do. And extending that heart awareness out now to the heart of the sun. Feeling those beautiful solar energies moving into your body, into your heart, into your solar plexus, into every cell. And feeling the love from the solar logos. And extending that heart awareness out to the heart of Source Creator. And feeling the love from Source moving into your body, into your heart, into your crown. And feeling all of our hearts together, beating together as one, in one unified field of love. And I often get this visual at the end of this of a beautiful golden web of light all over the planet, connecting all of us here on the call live, on the replay, and on YouTube. And feeling the expansion in your heart. So when we're ready, opening our eyes if they're closed. Maybe just having a sip of water.
Beautiful, thank you.
Thanks, Denise.
So, Lou, I'll start with you. You have been on this journey for a good while, since 1987, since the harmonic convergence. And I know you do a lot of channeling, but just as a kind of broader introduction to who you are and what you're doing here on the planet, I'd love to hear a little bit about how your journey started and how you came to be doing what you're doing.
Sure, a pleasure. One more time. Yeah, great to be here with you both. I really feel the love, the compassion, and the humility in service. All of us here. So August of 1987, before Hillis was a gleam in his father's eye, something like that, right? No, you were 10, you were 11, okay. So anyway, when you were a young man,
97, I think I was
87.
Almost 20.
87.
Oh, 87. Oh, yeah, 87. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no, see, in the Wayback Machine. Anyway, I was working in a spiritual bookshop, and I'd been working in bookstores for most of my 20s after I left college, just to study and read and feed my head. And so it was a spiritual bookstore, and I started reading about near-death experiences and Ram Dass and the Dalai Lama, and how as the Dalai Lamas reincarnate, they are able to identify their possessions from previous lifetimes. They're tested and things like this. And all this began to open my mind. And I've been carrying this grief. My dad died when I was 17, and I hadn't really found any way to deal with that grief in my 20s. And so anyway, long story short, the convergence came around, and somewhere before or after that time, I started meditating, and I met a friend, and he gave me a piece of quartz crystal, and he said, there's this thing called Kundalini energy, and if you meditate with a piece of quartz crystal, it might open up. And the very first time I did that, I had a Kundalini awakening that put me in an altered state for the next 7 days. And so orgasmic, ecstatic, all chakras open, the full deal. And that was a life changer. And so somewhere before or after the convergence that happened. And the convergence for me was the meeting of Lazarus, who is a spirit guide that channels through a man named Jack Purcell. And that was my first experience of encountering a channel in person. And I've been studying with Lazarus for the last 35 years as well. So living in LA at the time, I've said it was kind of a renaissance for spirituality. I studied with Reverend Michael Beckwith at the Agape Church in the practitioner program there, off and on for 10 years. And was in the choir for a year with Ricky Byers, which was a joy. And just learned to channel, open to channel, started doing that work. Drunvalo Melchizedek, Deepak Chopra, other great teachers, got to meet them and learn from them, etc. So yeah, that's how it all began, and I've really never looked back. The message that Lazarus gave us on the convergence is, they said, the next 25 years are going to be this accelerated time of spiritual awakening for the light workers, so that we could be prepared when the energy started to shift on the planet for all of humanity. We'd be ready to help, and I'm sure we all know this is certainly that time. And so it's very wonderful to be here with you both. We've all gone through, had to move heaven and earth to be on this path and to learn our lessons and to be of service to humanity, etc. So it's a great privilege to be here and share this time with you.
Thank you, Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a very compressed version of your time.
It's only 35 years, you know.
So over to you, Hillis. How did yours kind of come about?
You know, it's interesting. It was somewhat conventional, then not conventional at the same time, because I started out in the energy of gratitude and expressing gratitude and learning about gratitude and the true meaning of gratitude, really, and offering my thanks to friends and family in a particular time of my life so things weren't the best. And it was in that catalyst of energy where I began my journey and studied, the masters or teachers at the time, like Dr. Michael Beckwith, Neil Donald Walsh, Greg Braden, all those people reading the books and books and books and more books. Dr. Bruce Lipton about the body. All these teachers. So it's like I just went through this period of just like wanting to know everything. And as I moved through that energy, I happened upon the wanting to know more about the law of attraction through Esther Hicks, or Abraham Hicks, as people know her as. And then as I learned through that, understanding, not just so long ago, there's a symbiotic relationship between gratitude and what I now know is the law of vibration, not the law of attraction. And so it is in that energy where I became a writer, speaker, teacher about that and help people understand that space. And as I moved through that energy, I got my level 1 Reiki certification. Oh, wait, no, back up. I got my psychic mediumship certification because I knew I was always intuitive, but it was something more there. So I developed those energies. And then as I moved through my psychic mediumship, went into Reiki to learn about energy healing. And from there, what I'm most proud of and what I love the most right now in my life is the Lemurian energy work that I do, which transcends the Reiki work, which transcends everything else that I've done in the past. It's a myriad combination of everything that I've learned to be of service to humanity. So it brings me great joy to be of service to help people alleviate their suffering, their pains, their anxieties, to let go of the baggage of trauma, to let go of the baggage of emotional hurt and pain, to allow them to step into the fullness of their true self.
Beautiful.
Yeah, awesome. And I think my journey of awakening kind of was Reiki related as well, in having a session from somebody And to me, when you receive the attunements, it kind of opens you up so that you can bring this energy in.
Yeah.
You do it for like channeling that healing energy, or as you two do as well, in terms of kind of mediumship, or whatever word you might use for that. But it seems to just open you up, and then all these other doors just start opening. And I think a lot of it is tapping into our memories too, and even if it's not our personal memories, but the memories that are out there that we can tap into, of places like Lemuria or Atlantis, or other, with our multidimensional aspects as well, tapping into energies that are not from these parts, they're not from around here, but those galactic energies as well. So yeah, interesting. Thank you.
I love what I do.
Now, one question that I'm starting to ask people about, and I'll ask it now to make sure that I don't forget. So I started working with angels and ascended masters probably before I connected with the fairy realm. And it seemed an easier pathway into me. It was almost, fairies were still a little bit on that. I'm not sure about those. I found it easier to trust in and feel the energy of angels. But my Reiki master she'd been a teacher, she was very professional looking, and she would talk about fairies and just mention them in passing like it was completely normal. So I kind of opened my heart to the idea of working with fairies as well, and have done since then, and dragons and unicorns. And not everyone connects with these realms, but I wanted to ask both of you, and whoever wants to start first, of your experiences connecting in with the realm of the Fae in its broadest terms. If you have, first of all, if that resonates with you, how that kind of feels to you, or how you work with that energy, and any experiences that you would like to share on that.
After you, Hillis. I think my answer is going to be shorter than yours, my friend.
Well, it's interesting in terms of the elemental energies. I am aware of fairies, gnomes, all the creatures of the forest. But there's one particular that I'm fond of, and it is the dragon. Since I was born the year of the fire dragon, it is near and dear to my heart with the dragon energy and the dragon ley lines across the planet. And my experience with dragons have not been in great depth, but it is one that I'm aware of. And actually, I do have a dragon that I do work with sometimes. And it is more of a wise energy. And sometimes it's that extra boost or the extra kick as if I need it. Because the reverence of this dragon energy, or dragon energy in general, is one that is, as I am seeing this, is old, or if not older than the whale energy, the sperm whale or the blue whales that are on the planet, and how much energy and information that they hold. And so as I am now literally coming into awareness on air with you now, because I had no idea that was going to come through, it's just how to tap into that galactic energy, and just in comparison that the blue whales, sperm whales are connected to more earth energy, and the dragons are more connected to galactic or universal energy. So that's what I just received, and so I'm happy to continue to work with this, especially as we move more in the beautiful energies that are emerging on the planet now. Lou?
Groovy. Thank you. Well, what can I say? For me, I'm glad you mentioned the whales, because actually it's the dolphins that I feel the deepest affinity with among all the animal beings of the planet. And that's been true my entire life. And growing up when I did, there was a film called Day of the Dolphin. We had a TV series when I was a kid called Flipper, about a dolphin, right? I mean, these things were kind of like out there, and you could go, oh, okay. And one time I was really struggling, as we all do, and I was in Venice Beach, and I was asking the universe for help, and I got guided to walk on the beach, and true story, about a dozen dolphins rode up on the beach and beached themselves there in front of me. I don't remember when this was, but this literally happened. And I said, "Oh, I'm just so pissed off. I'm so disappointed. I'm so angry." And I'm getting from them, "No, no, 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 no. You're not getting it. You're not getting it." So I said, "What shall I say? I love myself. All right, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself." They started beating their fins on the water. Yes, that was it. That was what we want you to do. Yes. So that happened. My hand to God, that happened. And then another time I was on a little boat off Santa Barbara, and to the Santa Barbara Islands, in a little tuna boat with some friends, just taking a cruise. And on the trip back from the islands, we ran into thousands of dolphins in the water, in a pod, in a pool, in a connection, all there together. So that was also an extraordinary thing. But so I know that the fairies are real. I know that these other realms are real. What actually has been calling me, being Virgo, I'm very earth connected and earthy. And one of my ebooks is called the Earth Heart Journal, EARTHHEART. The earth is the heart, and the earth is in our heart, and our heart is in the earth, and it's all about love. So for me, I've actually been talking to the elementals over the last several months, and praying to Mother Earth, and doing it quite intentionally and deliberately, in terms of trying to connect. But you're absolutely right. I mean, Ireland is, of course, famous for leprechauns, fairies, etc. And what has been my joy here, in the time I've been here, is learning about the Celtic mythology, the calendars, the goddesses, the gods, the Breton law, the kings, all of that kind of thing, which is much more, in alignment with the other dimensions, and the earth as a spiritual being, alive and conscious, and all of that. So that's where I stand with all of that so far.
Yeah, I might have to come take a trip because no, I have Welsh descent, or Irish energy in within this makeup,
Good.
because my dad's last name is Kennedy, so that's not a giveaway.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's pretty
then
Irish.
yeah, and then my last name is Pugh, Pugh, which is a Welsh name. So it's like I have to come visit sometime,
Perfect.
and so it's gonna happen.
Good. Good. Come on anytime. Yeah, you're very welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you both for those answers. And I resonate with what both of you have said. And it's interesting that the whales came into the conversation about the dragons, because to me they often do. It often, and I'm like, how are the whales and the dragons connected? But and I don't know the full details of that, but I very much feel that they are, and that there are galactic whales too. And my feeling with the dragons is that anybody who does grid work, anybody that works with the energy of the land, is working with dragons, whether or not they know that. And my feeling is that, yeah, they're some of the original beings, way before humans were on the scene. And I had a lot of connection when I was living in Australia. The whales, the humpbacks used to come into the bay, and they'd come pretty close to, just behind the first wave as that was starting to break, like really quite close to shore. And they'd go up north, have their calves, and then bring their calves in and be teaching the calves, the tail splashing and the fin splashing, and just rolling with their calves just gently.
Beautiful.
when light language first started coming through to me, I felt the involvement of the whales in that. And there was one day when I was doing a big activation. It was the biggest one that I'd done. And it was what I could see out to sea was a pyramid deep in the ocean bed. And the work that I was doing was lifting this pyramid up. It was like activating this pyramid. And as it was rising, I realized that it was an octahedron. It wasn't a pyramid. And it was a drizzly day, and I was at the back of the beach, and I was getting a bit wet, and I was a bit grumpy. And I was like, can I go now? Like, I feel like I'm done. And at that point, two dolphins jumped out vertically like that. And I've seen dolphins, coming in and surfing the waves. And I know they do that, but I'd never before or since see them do that. And the timing of it was just as I was like, can I go inside now, please? And I was kind of like, if you want me to stay, then let me know. These two dolphins.
Hello.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It was amazing. And because of the rain, nobody walked in front of me all the time that I was doing the activation. Like, nobody went into that field of energy either. So yeah, it was all perfectly aligned. So, and I resonate probably more with the energy, the whales and the dolphins, but I love dolphins. Like, who doesn't love dolphins, really? So Lou, you had a massive, I can't remember if it was this year just gone or if it was the year before, but you had a huge initiation.
Yes.
How, so
last Christmas.
So just over a year ago.
Yeah. I had a house fire, which in about 2 or 3 hours destroyed everything I'd collected and put together the previous 13 years of my life, and ended my warm and fuzzy relationship with my housemate that I've been renting from. And the house has been rebuilt. My room's been rebuilt, and the house has been redone. And he's on his path, I'm on mine, and we're still friendly. But yeah, it was a big kick in the ass, frankly, and it was not what I was hoping for or asking for consciously. But the initiation part of it, of course, is really learning, and this is to see the blessing in every challenging situation. I think that really is so key, for all of us who have these gifts and abilities and blessings to be connected to spirit, is to know that there is always a blessing in every challenge. And, it requires healing and forgiveness and taking responsibility and cleaning up confusing things or fearful things or judgmental things that I was holding in my heart, consciously or unconsciously. And yeah, it was quite a process of death and rebirth. And I'm grateful for it at this point,
And you were in the room when the fire started as well?
So I lived there for 13 years. I had a fireplace, and I did what I had done literally about 1,000 times before, which is light the fire, go downstairs, make my dinner, as an American says, tea, as the Irish and the English say, and came up and half the room was on fire, and that was it. Yeah. So what I want to say, really, since we're talking about this, is, and then what happened is I was really flooded with love and support and kindness, for being on the path and whatever I'd offered over the previous number of years to people who I'd been able to help. And, they returned that kindness 100-fold. And even including the landlord of the flat that I'm living in has been extremely generous, patient, etc. And I've had support from friends in the States and friends here, etc. So it hasn't by any stretch been seamless, and it certainly wasn't anything like what I thought it might be when it all started. But I'm again very grateful and very conscious that this year, particularly that we're moving into now, I think everything that's happened for all of us who are on the path, especially for myself, has been preparation for these huge energetic shifts that we're beginning to to step into. And I really do believe humanity is about to enter its dark night of the soul, that all of us have had to go through many times in order to learn how to ask for help and be vulnerable and take responsibility and forgive ourselves and forgive each other and be very human in our spiritual path.
Yeah, that's huge. What a reset.
Gets your attention. Yeah.
You know,
Yes, go ahead, Hillis. Yeah.
well, I'm glad that you mentioned about the collective dark night of the soul, because as most of us know, individually as light workers, as healers, and the whole spectrum of us, we have had these experiences, not once but many times. Just when you think you're done, it's like, oh wait, no, here it is again.
Right. Right.
And so now, collectively, what I have come to know is, as we are now moving out of 3D energy, we're moving into this 4D energy, and which baffles me because no one really talks about what 4D energy is. People are ramping up and want to get into that 5D space, but it's the 4D energy where the transition is done, where the openings happen. And so, as we allow ourselves to take the time to honor this 4D energy, the shedding of the old, the releasing of the old, whether it's old belief system or old habits or old relationships or dynamics, anything that is no longer of service, it is now time for it to be shed as we move now into this unifying of this 4D energy. I know that people are, worried and concerned and filled with anxiety because of world events and world happenings. But as we put our attention on that, yet we still want to move into this 5D energy of unconditional love. We have to release the fear and anxiety and the attention on that. I mean, whether if it's, oh, I want to hurry up, I want this to be hurry up and done with, oh, I'm tired of this, oh, so, even though the words or the thoughts may have good intentions behind them, but it's still that focus of the energy on it that still fuels the intentions or the manifestations, or even slows down the process of us getting to where we have to go as a collective.
Beautiful. Yeah, man. Amen.
That leads me on nicely, because this is something I wanted to ask you both. If you feel fear coming in, and maybe you don't, and I would have said up until 2 years ago that I didn't so much. I used to be very fearful of so many things, like as a child and a younger adult. I was scared of the dark. I was scared of so much. So, the last few years have really, I've spent a lot of time and really working on fears. But I feel it stepping in sometimes, and especially in more recent times. So what do you do if you feel that coming in? Like, how do you manage that for yourselves?
Thank you for that question, Denise. That's a really interesting question. And like you, I probably would have answered it differently a year ago, even let alone 2 years ago, as opposed to now. And the energy of fear, people have all these different acronyms for it, and there's one that I love, but it's escaping me right now. But it's always something, something, something to be ready. And so the energy of fear itself is the energy of lack, the energy of not knowing, the energy of being lesser than. And so it is the fear of something greater or something greater to come. And so what I have learned to do is to embrace that fear, to really sit with it, to understand, why am I afraid of this? Why am I afraid of, jumping out of an airplane? Why am I afraid to, advertise myself, or why am I afraid to do, to be seen, or why am I so it's all these unknowns, all these different variables. And so to sit with it, to honor that feeling is pretty much how I deal with it. And yeah, so, I still have fears at times, and sometimes, an old fear evolves into something else. And so it's that space of evolution, because as I grow, so there's certain aspects of the old to, I guess, kind of keep me in that old mindset, that old mind game. It's like, well, you're not afraid? Well, we're going to teach you to be afraid, or show you how you can be even more afraid. And so I'm like, what are you talking about? And so so it's not necessarily conquering anything. It's just really having a depth of understanding it. Just like, okay, I understand. I get why you're doing this. I understand why you're pushing me. I get it. And so it is in that space of respect of that energy of fear, having the respect to always being in a space of being ready to understand what it is, to know what it is, to have a relationship with it. Because that, to me, that's what it comes down to, is having a relationship with all forms of energy, no matter where it arrives on the spectrum. And that way, once you have a relationship with that energy, you then can understand it, and then have the ability to transmute that energy into something that serves you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, brilliant, man. Love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, brother. Well, face everything and rise is the one that comes to mind. And yeah, we're all going to have fear, and it's going to come, and go and come and go. The, feel the fear and do it anyway. Is right. Is courage, and the let go into the mystery. Reach into the darkness. Give the situation to God for God's purpose. That's what I strive to remember. Michael Beckwith, who we both mentioned here, who's been such a huge inspiration to many people, and especially in the States. To me, what I learned many things from him. One thing I learned is he was always reflecting back to people what they were willing to see about themselves. People would say, "Oh, Reverend Michael, you're amazing, and you've given me so much." And I say, "You're seeing what's in you, in me, and now own it in yourself." And we mentioned some great teachers there, Hillis, Neil Donald Walsh, Greg Braden, et cetera, et cetera. And Marianne Williamson, Byron Katie, Lynn McTaggart, Lynn Andrews was another one I got to hang out with. Brilliant spiritual woman. Yeah, I mean, there's so many wonderful teachers in the world right now. And we've grown with all of them. And what I'm saying here is that we have the ability. We're more than we imagine ourselves to be. This is the theme from my guides. And I love what you're saying about 3D, 4D, 5D. That's where my head is at as well. That we've been on one path. All the indigenous cultures say this. We're in a new sun, a new time, a new age, a new calendar, all this kind of thing, especially this year. It's going to take courage for sure. And to me, it's knowing that the help is available. Like the dolphins jumped out of the water for you, Denise, and no one ever stood between you and your energy work, etc. We've all got a dozen of these stories, because as kids, as teenagers, as adults, as maturing people in the world, Spirit has had to get our attention, like with me and the fire, over and over again. Do you understand? Do you get it? Do you know that you are safe, loved, and supported, and that you can ask for and give thanks and receive help? Yeah, and then I'll forget, again, certainly, oh, this drama, no, this I have to figure out on my own, So it's practice, patience, and persistence to know that we're safe, loved, and supported. And what I also want to say here, my friends, is, the energy with both of you is just a feast. It's just hanging out in the heart space, as Krishna Das says. And thank you. And it's because of all the inner work that we've done, you know, the daily devotional practice of meditation and prayer and energy work and journaling and whatever we do every day, you know, to keep clearing away the confusion, clearing away the clutter, clearing away the attachment. And, you know, I think that's that peace, that peace of mind and that peace of heart that gives us that centering so that we can, you know, step back from the drama and get re-centered and regrounded and then wait for the inspiration and the ideas and the answers to come. That's my discipline with all of that.
May I add something really quick, Denise?
Of course.
Because Lou, what you just said, I honor that so much, and it really
Thank you, brother.
inspired and touched me to express one of my most recent lessons from an ascended master, Buddha, and how he always talks about attachment and how suffering is from attachment. And it wasn't until recently that I discovered the true meaning of it. You know, as my uh, personal situations have evolved and changed and grown, it is, you know, what is it that I'm truly attached to? And so it was in this space of meditation to really understand that the suffering that I've allowed for me to endure is because of my attachment to survival, my attachment to having things a certain way, or having this or having that. And it's not, you know, it's beyond material because, I mean, that can be replaced, even though there's a significant attachment in the collective to material possessions, which nothing is wrong with by any means. It's just that we've been conditioned and programmed to such a degree have that. But the real suffering is the attachment to the ideology, the ways in which we are grounded into what we do, grounded into our belief system, grounded into our thoughts, and grounded into our cultural norms and to our ethnic upbringings and all these things that we've grown attached to that creates this space of self-identification or cultural identification. And that is the root of this attached suffering. So I'm glad that you mentioned that because, you know, as I'm moving through this new definition of releasing this attachment to what was that no longer what is. And so it's like what is important or what is value or what is this now? What and how has it changed? And all these new dynamics it's as we just talked about it's frightening to a degree, but it's also comforting to know. It also brings excitement because it's something new or something different.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I love what both of you have said on that. It's awesome, and to bring in so much around it as well, because there's almost been, you know, there's been this idea that if you're in your heart space, you can't be in the space of fear, and therefore, if you're feeling fear, you're not in your heart space, which is probably true. And I don't know, most of us are not continually in our heart space. You know, we're there and then we were like, oh, I'm judging again, here I am. Yeah. And I loved what came up as well about really feeling into it, you know, really feeling into that fear and digging a bit deeper instead of just trying to get rid of it, like, oh, this isn't, you know, I'm a spiritual being, I can't be in that space of fear. It's really, you know, the past couple of years have really changed my perception of that, of that whole spectrum. Um, and speaking of that spectrum, often one way you can like shift it to excitement as well. You know, excitement is kind of like the fear, but without the cortisol, it's without the damaging
Yeah,
effects,
yeah. Absolutely.
and it shifts it completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Breath work as well to me has been incredible.
Sure. Sure. So One second. So yes, Denise. Sorry, Hillis. I just wanted to underline that. Thank you. Yeah, So Van Morrison has the song "Let Go into the Mystery." And when we're talking about creativity now, and Hillis does his beautiful design, which he's in front of, quite gorgeous, and so he's sharing his talents with us. I do music and poetry, and that keeps me sane. You do your
I
create.
do. I actually do poetry as well.
Yes, of course. So that's falling in love with the mystery is all I want to bring to
Yeah.
the conversation. That we know the more healthy we are, to my mind, the more creative we are. And we're inherently creative. Every human being is inherently creative. John Lennon said, "Every child is born a genius, and society beats it out of them." Basically, right? So if we're creative and we're creating and we're being in that headspace, the divine feminine, the right brain, receptive, intuitive, inspired is what I'm reaching for, then that is raising our vibration. And to me, that actually is the energy of the fifth dimension as I understand it. When we talk about heaven on earth, and transcending these illusions of separation, as Spirit puts it. When I'm singing, when I'm doing channeling, when I'm doing poetry, I'm not in the way. I'm completely surrendered. And to me, that is the healing of those fears, those inadequacies, those self doubts and self judgments, etc. And it's empowering and inspiring, and it's helping us to be prepared for the unknown and see the unknown as an opportunity and not just as a threat.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
And so connecting to what you just eloquently presented, Lou, and what you just said, Denise, about, you can't be in fear and in the heart space at the same time. It's interesting because as he was saying that, I'm like, it's possible you can be in fear and in your heart at the same time. Because if you are allowing yourself to embrace what is unknown, allowing yourself to embrace that what is coming, you're opening yourself up to that new door, to that new adventure, to that new energy stream. And it is in your heart because it is that courage that you allow that stream of energy to come through. But it's okay to have that fear because, in the human experience, it is in that vein to know that we are human. And most of us, especially when I teach about the law of vibration, no, I often teach about how fear is the lowest and most dense of all the emotions of the emotional spectrum, and love is the highest. And so when you're in the lower density field of energy, you are connected to a primal part of yourself. You're connected to that Neanderthal DNA, that old ancient energy. So it's like, okay, if I play with fire, I'm going to get burned at some point, and I will get burned. But I'm just going to keep doing it because it brings me joy. But yeah, there's still this underlying fear in anything that we do, whether if it brings us joy, happiness, peace, whatever. There's still the underlying fear of losing something. There's still this underlying fear of whatever it may be. And yes, I talked about fear in the past of how it holds us back. But now, as I see it, fear is also what makes us human to have this complete human experience.
Sure,
We can
beautiful.
live in both.
Yeah, yeah. We need both. We need that contrast, don't we? We need cold to
Yeah.
know hot, and we need dark to know light, and hungry to know full, and all of that. It's I love what you're saying, Hillis. It's not settling, I think, is the thing.
Yeah.
Being not compromising with ourselves. Which again takes great honesty and humility and integrity and courage, all of which will come and go, come and go, come and go, based on the situation, etc. But again, I want to say, if we know that we're a spiritual being having a human experience, which is the way I like to put it, then we are wise to ask for help and guidance and inspiration and healing every day. And
Yeah.
absolutely, in my life this last year, since the fire, for sure, it was like, Lou, you talk a good game, my friend. Now it's time to really like dig in all the way. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what this year has given me, and that's where the miracles come from, for sure.
It's interesting too, because I'm sitting here and being reminded of two things. Last night had nothing to watch on TV. It's like, what can I watch? What can I watch? Ended up watching one of my favorite movies, superhero movie, The Watchmen, one of my favorites.
I know it.
And then, as I'm sitting here, just so we have a context, uh, so brought to my mind the movie Lucy. And so you have Dr. Manhattan and you have Scarlett Johansson playing, I forget what her character's name is, but they both have what we will call omnipotent powers, powers of the mind, would make the, capable of just about doing anything that they put their mind and intention to. But you have what they call their attachment or their token or to humanity, meaning the person they were seeing. In The Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan was dating Silk Spectre, and Scarlett Johansson had a police officer. And so for their reminders of them having these godlike abilities, they needed that attachment, that tether to this 3D reality. And so that's, just in context, that's what this fear is. We can go off and do great and wondrous things, but it is that attachment that we have to have to remind us of our purpose, remind us of our humanity, remind us of who and what we are here to do. And so there's nothing, in that space. And as I sit here and I think about this, so yes, attachment is suffering. But what am I attached to? Am I attached to the fear of being greater than what I am? Am I attached to this or am I attached to that? What in this vein of energy to that I'm attached to for this reminder? What is this that is bringing up this moment to remind me of the greatness that I am, but yet realizing that my duty is to humanity to remind them of their greatness as well, for them to rise up to meet me where I'm at,
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch this again on replay. This is some good stuff in here.
Good. Well, I loved Watchmen. I had a friend that turned me on to the comic when they were coming out, and we'd wait each month to read it back in the bookstore days. And the film was really great. But also, what you reminded me just very briefly, Denise, is all the Marvel Comics films, which I think are extremely spiritual and metaphysical. And I think they may have turned the corner there on all of that. But that whole run there up until Endgame was something else. It was really powerful teaching for a lot of people. So I just want to put that out there.
Don't get me started on that stuff.
I will chat sometime. Yeah, we'll have to chat.
That was a beautiful exploration, both of you. Thank you. That was awesome lead-ons from that initial question. Thank you both.
Certainly.
I would love for us to, if you both have time, we're going to go a little over time, but I normally go a little bit over the hour. I'd love for us to just bring a little process in, a little bit of meditation, anything that is wishing to come through for people at this time.
Sure.
I'll hand over to you first, Lou, and then over to you, Hillis.
Ruby, let me turn off the light. Great. Okay, so Hillis is already on it. Go ahead and close your eyes, turn within, take a deep breath. All right, God bless you, dear friends. Here we come one more time. Imagine 7 stars spiral down through time and space, touch the crown, take a lovely deep breath, and relax and release. Relax and release. Let the energy flow down the 7 chakra centers, crown, third eye, throat, and heart. Take another good breath. And down we go, will center, through the tummy, the sacral, the root, hips, legs, feet, down, down, down into Mother Earth. Take another beautiful cleansing breath. Relax and release. Relax and release. God bless you, dear friends. Well, we just want to add a thought or two here, and then we might let our dear brother here do his share his gifts, which will take you even deeper, dear friends. God bless you. Dear friends, this is an auspicious moment for humanity, and you know it in your heart of hearts. And often the question is, am I really ready for such a powerful time? Am I really ready to shine my light and share my love, dear friends? And Spirit here, the higher self, soul, and spirit here, dear friends, of all of you, wants to reassure you, you're more ready than you know. And why that is because you've learned to ask for help. You've learned to be open and receptive, to be vulnerable in your heart of hearts, to let the truth touch you, and let love heal you, dear friends. And let the pain and the fear and the struggle and the worries be washed away, dear friends, over and over again, lifetime after lifetime. Dear friends, humanity is a spiritual being having a human experience, collectively and individually. And yet humanity has forgotten that for a very long time. So now you're going through what we call a planetary healing crisis, a kind of a nervous breakdown of the consciousness of humanity, seeking everywhere but where the answers are, to come into a place of healing. What we do believe and we do foresee here, dear friends, in this new year of 2022, healing and healers, the true form of healing and healers, that which really heals, which really brings you back to the love and light of all that is going to be more valued and more sought out and more appreciated and more respected, dear friends, than it has ever been in this human history. So, dear friends, everyone listening here today is on that leading edge of thought, on that an ambassador from the future, dear friends, a visionary, a way shower, a map maker, dear friends, a dream weaver. And it is in your great heart that you are seeking and searching and finding, dear friends, opportunities to be new, to be different, to be more than you've been, dear friends. So comparing and competing with old ideas and old identities you've touched on here so beautifully today, that is letting go, dear friends. And what is needed and wanted are those who are willing to follow their hearts, dear friends, surely so, and to follow your dreams. This is a year and a time for dreaming new dreams, dear friends. Big, powerful, beautiful dreams for yourself, for your loved ones, for Mother Earth and with Mother Earth, the fairies, the angels, all the beings of light in this world and beyond, dear ones, and for humanity, absolutely. So, dear friends, with your courage, with your compassion, and with your wisdom, you bring the love and light of all that is in, through, and as your very soul and spirit, your life, into this time and space. Take a deep breath. And let us fill you up and let your cup overflow. And let yourself remember, realize, understand, and know that you're ready for the unknown as we call you forth into a time of love and light, of joy and freedom, of happiness and healing and true fulfillment. Dear friends, be at peace. All is infinitely well for you and your world. We love you so. Peace and blessings. Namaste.
Beautiful souls, everyone who is present, physically, non-physically, as we stay in this energy stream of all chakras being open and active, from your soul star, which is just above your head, all the way down to the bottoms of your feet, your earth star chakra, keeping you grounded and connected to this divine, beautiful energy. Just taking a deep breath here and allow yourself to connect, to ascend into the space of connectivity of self. And as you connect to self, you connect to your neighbor, you connect to your family, you connect to your friends, you connect to all humanity as we all are one. And as this connection is established, We allow ourselves to move into the space of the vault of wisdom, the halls of knowledge that are contained within you, guide you in the activation and the knowing of self, the knowing of this energy that is contained in each and every single cell in the body, all trillion cells containing a particular, specific piece of wisdom and knowledge you are seeking. Information for yourself, information to share with others. You allow this divine wisdom, this guiding light, this light that is you, this light that is of you, this light that is from you, this light that is connected to you. Allow this stream to flow infinitely with ease, with grace, and endlessly to all that you are, to all that your being is, activating this beautiful energy of wisdom and information, allowing you to ascend into new heights and new definitions, new definitions of your beings, new definitions of you, allowing the old programming, allowing the old beliefs, all the trauma to allow it to fall away as it no longer serves you, as it no longer is you, because as we are in this new energy of Aquarium, we are now allowing this newness to emerge, to evolve, to grow, as we now choose to participate in personal and collective evolution, because as one grows, as one evolves, so does the other. Let's take a deep breath in this moment. And just allow the evolution of self to be one of ease and of allowing and allow you to know yourself through all that you have experienced in this human form. Know that there's greater within in the energy form, in the mental form, in the emotional space, to allow all that you are, the wholeness, the completeness that you are, to be fully realized in your true authentic self. And with this, you become to know truly who you are, the true self, and honor that self. And no large or small task, no matter the size, you honor that feeling, you honor that truth. And with the honoring of this wisdom, you are who you are supposed to be, where you are supposed to be. Honoring that in which you are. And keep honoring yourselves, brothers and sisters, and loved ones and masters. As they are here, we are here to help each other. And it's so. You can just take a deep breath and allow yourself to come back to this space. Open your eyes and stretch if you need to. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you both. So just to close, what are you both up to? Is there, Hillis, I know that you've got a beautiful activation that you are offering at the moment.
Yes. And so this is my newest baby. I'm so excited about and so proud that I was given this gift to share with everyone. So this is a Lemoyne light activation. And so, excuse me, a Lemoyne light body activation. And so this particular light body activation is where I start off expressing the tools that are used to assist this activation, from crystals and other little technology devices. And the purpose of this activation is to activate the cells dormant DNA, or what some people call junk DNA in the body, for us to ascend individually and as a collective. And this particular light body activation is about 40 minutes long. Um, and I give clear instructions during this process. It's a meditation you can do at home anytime. It is available on my website for purchase, and it's probably going to be one of the best investments that you make for yourself this year, as we ascend and move into and through 4D and up into 5D energy.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And it is, I received the activation, and it is a really beautiful, strong activation. So thank you for that. And those crystals, I don't think I knew any of those crystals that you had.
You know, most people don't, and see, a little known but unknown secrets. I'm the crystal whore. I have hundreds of crystals, and some of my favorites now are the Andara crystals. I love Andara crystals because they were some of the first beings on the planet, and so they have that primal earth energy, that key wisdom. And so between the Andaras and the Lemurian crystals I work with, and I'm so honored, Denise, that you actually have the opportunity to experience that. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. And all your details, I've put everything that you gave me in the script for this in the post, so they can connect to that through either of the links that are there. Thank you. Lou, over to you. What's going on in your world?
Sure. Bless you. Well, that was lovely, by the way, Hillis. Thank you for your channeling, brother. That was gorgeous. Thank you so much. Yes.
And
And
thank
great.
you to you too as well, Lou, for that lead in, and us connecting our energies, the bridge of energies. Magic.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we'll have to keep in touch here. Yeah, I'd love to stay connected. Absolutely. So I do a live 1 hour program every morning, as you know. Denise was on, I think, yesterday or the day before, called Morning Prayers, where I read my own and other people's channeling and poetry and anything that crosses my path in the previous day. And we do that for from 9 to 10 a.m. Monday through Thursday. And then that's there, for the rest of the day, what have you. And then I'm also doing, I do interviews on my YouTube channel, and my started a podcast called Awaken Spirits Network. So that's on YouTube and Spotify. And then I'm working on my music quite a lot these days. As I said, that was the gift of the fire, is getting back into my music. And I've just had so many miracles and blessings. People giving me guitars, people giving me better guitars, this kind of thing. I did a concert for New Year's Day, Saturday night. That's still on my page. And I'm really happy with that. So I'm working on an album of my own and other people's music. And I do have a few ebooks in the pipeline as well. And so I'm working on that. You might know Ali Ray. She and I are also starting a podcast together, and we're beginning that this week, at the end of the week as well. And so lots of nice opportunities and possibilities. My passion is to do sessions with people as well, one-to-one channeled readings and spiritual counseling and all of that. So that's my thing. Yeah.
Beautiful, and thank you both. This has been really lovely. And obviously, I didn't know how this would work. You two have never met before, but I'm really glad I followed the guidance, and it does feel a really beautiful connection that you two had.
Yeah.
And the channeling that you both did, that meditation, was just beautiful. It was really beautiful. So thank you both
Thank you.
much as well.
Yeah.
For the conversation.
Well, and thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the courage to trust your inspiration. Denise, there you are, courage, trusting your inspiration, and introducing me to this lovely brother and your good self, to reconnect with the two of us as well. So it's been a joy. Thank you both.
Thank you, and thank you. I mean, it's all I can say, but
And thank you also to everybody who's been with us on the live and who's going to watch this on the replay on YouTube. My YouTube channel as well, I'll just mention that because I'm really trying to get that going a bit more. I'd love to get up to the 1,000 and have the options of the community on there. And at this rate, it's going to take me another 6 years because it's been steadfastly 100 a year since the first of the first.
I have a feeling things are about to pick up for all of us, my friend.
Yeah, I think so. And I've got lots of ideas of things I want to do as well. So Inner Peace with Denise is my YouTube as well. So if this is if you've enjoyed this, there's the Love Speaks Love playlist and lots more. So thank you, everybody. This has been really, really beautiful. Thank you, dear brothers.
Thank you very much.
You going to stop the live stream. Thank you, everybody.